Have you ever gone through an entire day and still felt like you hadn't truly lived? Tired, lost, everything moving fast, but feeling empty. If you're trying to find a sense of balance again, just 1 week, was 1 week might be all it takes. These 5 small habits can bring noticeable change. They'll help you start your mornings with clarity, move your body to nourish your energy, write to understand yourself, eat with more awareness, and most importantly, break free from the grip of screens. It was the winter of 2020, and I just moved back into a quiet apartment in the city. I remember sitting by the window one night, staring out at the traffic lights and wondering where my days had gone. When I look back, my life feels like a long, winding journey. Each year unfolds like a new chapter in the book of my life, some filled with laughter, others weighed down by aching silence. There were sunny days when my heart felt light as spring winds, but there were also countless nights when I just sat there, quiet, still, listening to the sound of my own thoughts falling like slow, soft drops into the emptiness around me. I've lived through days when every door seemed shut, and I've known those rare, radiant moments I wished I could hold on to forever. But through it all, through joy and pain alike, I've come to realize something profound. You have to live your own life. Don't let others write the story you were meant to tell. Don't shape your life around expectations, rules, or the gaze of anyone else, not even those you love most. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." I read that on a sleepless night, surrounded by doubts and wounds I didn't yet know how to heal. And over the years, I tried, quietly, stubbornly, to live by those words. Every time I stumbled, every time I lost something, I returned to that simple truth. Gradually, I came to understand the way we face hardship reveals who we truly are. Today, I'm not here to offer promises wrapped in pretty words, just an honest invitation to walk with me through 5 simple yet powerful habits, habits that may quietly but deeply reshape the way you live. Just 1 week, if you truly listen and practice, can shift how you think, how you move through your days, and how you feel about yourself. Each habit is built on the steady foundation of Stoic discipline. And no, this is not empty theory. Each habit isn't just an idea, it's something you can actually do. Something small, but solid. Something that makes your inner world quieter. 1 week, 5 habits, one new beginning. No rush, no pressure. Just your presence and your willingness to return to yourself. So take a deep breath. Keep an open heart as we move through this video. And now, let's begin. Habit number 1, waking up early. This was by far the hardest habit for me. For years, I told myself I just wasn't a morning person. I loved the comfort of staying in bed, especially on gray, rainy mornings when the world felt quiet and distant. But deep down, I knew every time I hit snooze, a part of my life was slipping away, and I hadn't even shown up to live it yet. So I challenged myself, just 1 week. 1 week of waking up early. No matter how tired I felt, no matter how loud my excuses became. The first 2 days were brutal. My body resisted. My mind was full of rationalizations. You went to bed late? You need rest. You'll wake up early tomorrow instead. And then I remembered something Marcus Aurelius once wrote. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work. As a human being. He believed each of us was born with a natural purpose, a unique responsibility to fulfill in this life, and it's our connection to that purpose that gives us the strength to overcome procrastination, fatigue, and a lack of motivation. Think about it like this. Imagine you're driving on a long journey and suddenly your tire goes flat. You don't sit and debate whether you feel like fixing it. You just do it. Why? Because the goal is crystal clear. Change the tire and keep going. You act regardless of how tired or cold or distracted you feel, because you know exactly why you must do it. That's what discipline truly is. Having a reason that's strong enough to carry you through resistance. If you wake up in the morning and don't know what for, you'll snooze. But if you wake up knowing, I'm getting up to write, to move my body, to align with the person I want to become, you don't need motivation. You already have your reason. The root of self-discipline is having a reason worth showing up for. And if you don't yet know what that is, start anyway. Want to write? Then write every day. Want to be an artist? Draw, sketch, create. Whatever it is, you don't need more motivation or research or advice. You just need to begin. Purpose doesn't wait for you to find it. It shows up when you do. That's how I started, not with enthusiasm, but with a quiet commitment that I would wake up early, even if just 15 minutes earlier, to meet myself again in the stillness of the morning. By the third day, I wasn't fighting the alarm as much anymore. I was waking up because I had a reason. I was waking up to live, not just to exist. And slowly I began to realize, waking up early wasn't just giving me more time. It was giving me a chance to prove to myself each day that I can follow through. Self-discipline is finding a reason strong enough and committing to it despite how you feel. And waking up early is your first doorway back to that reason. Habit number 2, exercise daily. Training not just the body, but the will. When you open your eyes in the morning, do you feel your body supporting you or holding you back? That question alone says a lot about the quality of life you're living. For the longest time, I thought of exercise as something for later, when I had time, when I had energy, when life was less busy. But then, for just 1 week, I made a decision to take it seriously. Not to chase aesthetics, not to follow a trend, but to make a small promise to myself. And just a few days in, I realized something. The biggest change wasn't happening in my body, it was happening in my mind. I started small, a light 10-minute jog each morning. Day 1 was painful. My legs ached, my breath was short, and my mind screamed at me to stop. Day 2, I almost didn't go. The weather wasn't ideal, I was tired, and my inner voice whispered, "One day off won't hurt." But I remembered the words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. So I laced up again and went outside. By day 3, my body began to respond. I felt more alert, more energized. Some mornings I didn't even jog. I just went for a brisk 20-minute walk in the soft morning light, breathing deeply. And still I felt better. That's when I understood. Moving your body is one of the fastest ways to shift your mental state. Every time I stepped out the door to exercise, I felt like I was crossing an invisible threshold. Not against the weather or fatigue, but against the version of myself from the day before. And that feeling of progress, however small, gave me deep internal confidence. Believe me, the benefits are worth every bit of the effort. Exercise doesn't just transform your body, it changes the way you relate to life. Because here's the truth, overwhelm quickly leads to hesitation. Hesitation opens the door to stagnation. And where stagnation exists, discipline cannot survive. So exercise isn't something you do when you have time. It's something you do to take back your time, your energy, and your agency. When I move my body, I'm sending a message to my mind. I matter. I'm worth showing up for. I'm investing in myself. And slowly, my mind began to treat me differently. No more harsh judgment. No more inner laziness. Just steady progress, quiet calm, and a growing sense that I was finally moving in the right direction. In Stoicism, discipline is not about force. It's about freedom. Freedom from short-term urges, from procrastination, from the excuses your weaker self leans on. Once your purpose is clear exercise becomes a powerful, practical ritual for training your spirit as much as your strength. If the first habit, waking up early, is how you wake your mind, then the second habit, daily movement, is how you shape your identity, one step, one breath at a time. If you don't know where to start, try these simple ideas this week. A 10-15-minute walk or light jog in the morning, 20 minutes of yoga at home, guided by a video, jump rope or stair climbing if you live in an apartment, body weight workouts, push-ups, planks, squats, just 10 minutes a day, no gym required, no fancy equipment, just one decision, to begin. You don't need a lot, you just need consistency. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to show up. Discipline begins with a clear reason. Do you want a healthier body so you can work better, live longer, and spend more quality time with the people you love? Then take care of it every day. If waking up early is how you break free from autopilot, then exercising is how you build inner strength, slowly, steadily, deeply. Let every drop of sweat be a quiet declaration. I'm on the right path. Let your body become living proof of the discipline you're cultivating. You don't need much, just a little, each day, and soon you'll see you are changing from the inside out. Do you want to become stronger? Start moving for yourself. Habit number 3, journaling. Not just recording memories, but understanding yourself. Ever found yourself lying awake at night, unable to sleep, with thoughts swirling endlessly? Regrets from the past, anxieties about the future. You're exhausted, yet your mind refuses to rest. I've been there too. One night, amidst the quiet hum of my desk lamp, I reached for a pen and wrote, "What am I feeling right now?" Just one question, but the response flowed unexpectedly long. The first line was hesitant, the second a bit clearer. By the third line, something shifted. I wasn't concerned about grammar or structure. I wasn't writing for anyone else. I was writing to breathe, to find clarity. Journaling for me started not as a habit, but as a lifeline, a way to navigate the internal storms invisible to others. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, practiced daily journaling, not for others to read, but to understand himself. For him, writing was a form of philosophical training, a method to anchor the mind amidst emotional turbulence. Stoicism teaches voluntary discomfort, placing oneself in challenging situations, not out of weakness, but to build inner strength. And writing, though seemingly gentle, requires quiet courage, because it demands pausing, facing oneself, naming the emotions long avoided. I began with just 5 to 10 minutes each morning. Some days I wrote a single line, "I feel lost." Other days, pages poured out, releasing a storm that had been building inside. Each sentence opened doors in my mind, no judgment, no pressure to make sense, just honesty. Then one morning I looked up from the page and exhaled, a deep breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. My chest felt lighter, my mind calmer. I stepped outside, the sky was clear, the sun gentle. Everything looked the same, but something within me had changed. I no longer felt the need to run from myself. Writing doesn't erase sadness, but it lays it out, allowing you to examine it with clarity and move forward without it holding you back. When I write, time slows down. I hear the scratch of the pen, the subtle sighs I didn't know I was releasing. And I begin to feel I am here, not performing, not escaping, just present. You don't need to be a writer to journal. You just need to be human, with a soul yearning to be heard. Start with simple questions. How do I feel today? What am I anxious about? What am I grateful for right now? 5 minutes, 1 page, 1 pen, and a quiet promise to yourself. I will listen. Writing cultivates clarity. It fosters courage. It nurtures truth with yourself. And no one else can do that for you. So start today, not for anyone else, but because you deserve to be heard. In this small daily act, you're also building the foundation for self-discipline. As Marcus once wrote, begin with small things so that you may face the great. Journaling sharpens your awareness, builds honesty, and anchors your mind before the world can shake it. If waking up early awakens your body, if moving daily strengthens your willpower, then writing ensures your soul doesn't get lost. In a world filled with noise and distraction, creating a quiet space to hear yourself, that too is a form of bravery. Habit number 4, mindful eating. Discipline at the table, freedom in the mind. I used to be the kind of person who just ate to get it over with. Breakfast? A quick sandwich, eaten one-handed while driving. Lunch? In front of my laptop, eyes glued to deadlines. Dinner? Often late at night, not because I was hungry, but because I felt empty. For years, I lived like that, thinking I was saving time, not realizing I was slowly losing my connection to life in the smallest, most sacred of rituals, eating. Then one night, after a particularly stressful day, I found myself slurping down a bowl of instant noodles again. But this time, something felt different. Not just the heaviness in my stomach, but a kind of restlessness in my chest. A quiet guilt, a hollow ache. I paused and asked myself, was I truly hungry or just trying to fill a void? The answer hit hard. The next morning, I did something different. I cooked a simple meal, rice, steamed vegetables, and a soft-boiled egg. I set the table. No phone, no screens, just me, the food, and the quiet. And for the first time in a long time, I actually tasted my food. The sweetness of the carrot, the gentle aroma of the rice, the way my body seemed to sigh with gratitude. I wasn't eating just to fuel, I was eating to feel. Marcus Aurelius journaled every day, not for others to read, but to understand himself. For him, it was part of his philosophical training. And I believe mindful eating is a similar practice. It's how we train ourselves to delay gratification, to master our impulses, and to cultivate gratitude in its most embodied form. Stoicism doesn't ask us to deny joy. It teaches us to rule over desire. And sometimes the dinner table is where that lesson becomes real. I started creating small rituals around food. Before each meal, I take a deep breath, a silent thank you for simply being here. While eating, I put my utensils down between bites to remind myself that I'm not here to devour, but to experience. After the meal, I jot down one line in my journal. Did I truly need that second serving? How does my body feel right now? From a person who ate mindlessly, I began to listen. And I discovered mindful eating didn't make my life more restricted. On the contrary, it gave me a strange sense of freedom. Freedom from impulses. Freedom from emotional eating. Freedom to choose what nourishes me with awareness. You can begin today with your very next meal. Turn off the TV. Put your phone away. Look at your food like you're seeing it for the first time and ask, what am I truly craving right now? Energy or escape? If waking up early is how you take charge of your day, if movement is how you build willpower, if journaling is how you meet your true self, then mindful eating is how you return to the present and stop letting life slip by bite after bite. I used to eat to fill a void. Now I eat to listen. And honestly, it's one of the most disciplined and freeing things I've ever done for myself. Habit number 5, limiting screen time. Turn the world off so you can turn yourself on. There were nights when I'd crawl into bed only to instinctively reach for my phone. Just 5 minutes, I'd whisper to myself. A quick scroll through social media, a couple of messages, maybe a short video. But those 5 minutes often morphed into an hour. When I finally looked up, my mind felt cluttered, my emotions tangled. I wasn't living my life, I was consuming fragments of others. Marcus Aurelius once advised, you have to build a fortress within your mind, a place no outside noise can enter unless you allow it. Reflecting on this, I realized my mental fortress had no walls, just open windows letting in endless noise. Determined to reclaim my peace, I set a boundary, no screens after 9 p.m. The first night was challenging. I sat on my bed, restless, my hand twitching towards the absent phone. But in that silence, I began to notice the world around me, the rustle of leaves outside, the rhythmic ticking of the clock, the gentle cadence of my own breathing. In that stillness, I found a sense of presence I'd long forgotten. Stoic philosophy speaks of voluntary discomfort, choosing challenges to build inner strength. Limiting screen time became my modern-day practice of this principle. I introduced small rituals. Mornings began without screens, just a cup of tea and a moment of reflection. Meals were enjoyed without digital distractions, allowing me to truly savor each bite. Evenings were reserved for reading or journaling, letting my mind unwind naturally. These intentional pauses became sanctuaries of clarity amidst the chaos. Many say I can't stay off my phone. I used to believe that too. But the truth is, we've forgotten how to be still. In a world that constantly demands our attention, choosing stillness is a radical act. To reclaim your life, start with where your eyes go each day. Silence unnecessary notifications. Set boundaries for app usage. Establish a digital curfew to protect your mental space. When tempted to scroll, opt for a moment of reflection instead. If waking early energizes your body, if movement strengthens your will, if journaling clarifies your mind, if mindful eating grounds you, then limiting screen time safeguards your attention, preserving the most sacred parts of who you are. In a world that never stops shouting, finding peace in silence is a profound strength. You don't need to abandon technology, just ensure it doesn't consume you. Sometimes the best way to truly connect with yourself is to disconnect from the noise. Hey friends, that wraps up our journey through 5 habits that have genuinely transformed my life in just a week. From rising early to embrace the day, moving my body to build discipline, journaling for clarity, eating mindfully to stay present, to unplugging from screens to reconnect with myself, each habit has brought me closer to the person I aspire to be. Sharing this experience with you has been incredibly meaningful. Now I'm curious, which habit resonates with you the most? Is there one you're eager to try or perhaps a challenge you're currently facing? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. Your story might be the inspiration someone else needs today. If you found value in this video, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you won't miss upcoming content. We've got more insights and tools on the way to support your growth, and I promise you won't want to miss them. And if you know someone who could benefit from this, please share it with them. Sometimes, a simple video can ignite a powerful change. Thank you for being here. Wherever you are on your journey, remember, you're not alone.